The following is an instructional video for the use in promoting the Malagasy People's Library Project. This video is a collaborative project between the Malagasy People's Library Project and Mideast Career and Technology Center's Digital Media Program. Special thanks to Mark Still and Can Bennett. The Madagascar People's Library Project is the vision and dream of two librarians from two very different worlds, Sherry from Ohio and Lonto from Madagascar, met while pursuing their masters in library science through and discovered that they had both dreamed of being able to change lives through the promotion of libraries. We hope that providing this informative video that you too will discover the unique people, land, and wildlife of Madagascar, and that you will join us in building and maintaining the Malagasy People's Library. The library will provide the people of this fascinating land with the knowledge, reading skills, and love of learning they will need to promote conservation, democracy, and economic growth throughout their poverty-stricken nation.
Madagascar, an isolated island about twice the size of Arizona, has some of the highest biodiversity on the planet. Of the roughly 200,000 known species found in Madagascar, about 150,000 are endemic, meaning they exist nowhere else. Unique to the island are more than 50 types of lemurs, 99% of its frog species, and 36% of the bird species. Madagascar houses 100% of the world's lemurs and half of its chameleon species. Some species found in Madagascar have their closest relatives not in Africa, but in the South Pacific and South America. Madagascar is legendary for its profusion of wildlife and flora. Of the roughly 200,000 known species found in Madagascar, about 150,000 are endemic, meaning they exist nowhere else on Earth. Since the arrival of humans on the island, there has been an extensive amount of habitat destruction. Large areas of the forest have been felled and wetlands have been drained. Introduced species have spread into native habitats, and a number of endemic species are threatened by hunting. Like most developing countries, feeding the nation comes before conservation. Rice is the staple food, and a lot of forest areas have been, and still are, cleared to make space for rice paddies. Some species have already become extinct, particularly large species such as the elephant birds, Malagasy hippopotamus, and giant lemurs. Many surviving species are endangered, including most of the lemurs.
Madagascar is made up of a highland plateau fringed by a lowland coastal strip, narrow in the east and considerably wider in the west. The eastern, or windward side of the island is home to tropical rainforests, while the western and southern sides of the island are covered by tropical dry forest, thorn forests, and deserts and shrublands. Dry forests support hundreds of endemic plant and animal species. For example, 7 species of baobab trees are compared to only 1 in all of mainland Africa. Madagascar's diverse landscape includes rainforests, singy limestone formations, spiny forest to desert. Such diversity on one island is a unique feature. Once a mosaic of forest brush and grassland, the Madagascar's plateau is now largely deforested. Extensive deforestation has taken place in many parts of the country. Slash and burn activity has occurred in the eastern and western dry forests, as well as on the central high plateau, reducing certain forest habitat and applying pressure to some endangered species. Slash and burn is a method sometimes used by shifting cultivators to create short-term yields from marginal soils. When practiced repeatedly without intervening fallow periods, the nutrient-poor soils may be exhausted or eroded to an unproductive state. The resulting increased surface runoff from burned lands has caused significant erosion and resulting high sedimentation to western rivers. Madagascar's varied fauna and flora are endangered by human activity, as a third of its native vegetation has disappeared since the 1970s and only 18% remains intact.
The mixed origins of the Malagasy has produced an interesting set of cultures that draws from Southeast Asia, India, Africa, and the Middle East. The Indonesian element in Malagasy culture is predominant. The language, Malagasy, related to the dialect from Borneo. The African influence is evident with widespread obsession with zebu cattle, while Arab origins can be seen in some of the belief systems, trading patterns, and Arabic language elements. Within the country, people's physical appearance, religious practices, and traditions are highly regional. The strongest bond between Malagasy is the sharing of a common language. Today there are more than 20 ethnic groups in Madagascar, from the Indonesian-looking Merina in the highlands to the Arabic on the eastern coast. To learn more of Madagascar's ethnic groups, most Malagasy speak both Malagasy and French. Madagascar was a French colony until 1958 and is now a democratic nation. Madagascar is among the world's poorest countries despite its biological and cultural richness. Poverty and difficult living conditions are the daily realities for many of Madagascar's children. 48% of Malagasy children are chronically malnourished. 13% suffer from acute malnutrition. Only about 50% of households have access to clean drinking water. Contaminated water and poor sanitation greatly increases the risk that children will contract diseases. Children make up more than half of Madagascar's population, and half of the nation's 17 million people live on less than $1 a day. Natural disasters such as cyclones and floods are a frequent risk. 56% of poor and 67% of extremely poor youngsters aged 7 to 20 years old do not attend school and are likely entering the labor force earlier than their non-poor counterparts. A weak education system makes it difficult for young Malagasy to find jobs outside the agricultural sector, and very few people in Madagascar have access to technology or the internet. Our mission is to ensure the children and adults of Madagascar have the opportunity to access materials that will increase literacy, promote democracy, and lead to a better standard of living for all. Libraries were created to promote democracy and disseminate information to the people. In the United States, we are very blessed to have a government that recognizes that democracy and libraries go hand in hand. In the newly democratic nation of Madagascar, the country is struggling to create an effective democracy. In order to ensure the success of the people of Madagascar in the pursuit of a democratic society, the Madagascar People's Library will provide information that is accessible to all citizens in the Malagasy, French, and English languages. Madagascar is one of the poorest countries on the earth, with an average income of $1 a day. Madagascar's schools operate without reading material of any kind. There are no public libraries and little chance that people can bring themselves out of a world of poverty. The Malagasy People's Library will offer the opportunity for all citizens to educate themselves, regardless of economic status. In the spirit of Andrew Carnegie's vision for American libraries, the Madagascar People's Library also wishes to provide an opportunity for those that wish to lift themselves out of poverty. Access to information and education through libraries is not a handout. It encourages those with drive to excel. Your donations will go towards purchasing and maintaining a building to house the Malagasy People's Library and its collection. Future plans include international studies students and volunteer groups from the United States visiting to teach English and French literacy, collaborative projects with Madagascar's public schools, and technology training for adults and children. Sometimes it's hard for us to imagine just how much of a difference we can make. Through this project, we have discovered that by working together, we can improve the lives and conditions of the Malagasy people. Our biggest assets are our family, network of friends, and our determination. No one person can change the world overnight, but together we can change lives.